Well, before we get to our other topics, let's talk about the troubled Rays baseball stadium project. Late this week, the St. Petersburg City Council voted 4-3 to approve bonds to help build a new Rays stadium and develop the area around it. The next step is a vote by the Pinellas County Commission on December 17th. The commission could approve the county's share of bonds, but according to the Tampa Bay Times, even if the Pinellas County Commission approves the funding, the project would have a shortfall of $312.5 million because of a projected one-year delay in opening the new stadium. The Rays are already promising to pay $700 million toward the deal, but have indicated that they cannot afford the additional $312.5 million. So, Janelle, does the vote by the City Council on Thursday make this no longer a dead deal, as some people have been saying the last few weeks?
It does, in the sense that it keeps the existing agreement that was already approved before the hurricanes alive. But there's a lot of questions still remaining about whether or not the Rays are actually going to be in this. And I think that what you saw last night with Thursday night with the City Council vote was an attempt to kind of shift the obligation to the county. At issue here is if the Rays back out of this deal, the city keeps their land development rights. Yeah. Exactly. If the city or the county are the ones who break the deal, then the Rays get to keep some of those development rights. So that's a big hunk of change right there that's on the table, and the Rays are trying to hold on, and the city's trying to hold on, and this kicks the can over to the county and puts the ball in their court.
Mm-hmm. So, Mitch, I didn't understand why the cost of building the stadium would go up $312.5 million if the building of the stadium was delayed for just 1 year.
Rob, I don't think that's actually accurate. That is the commitment that Pinellas has already put out there. Now, you're right. The Rays have said since the hurricane, and they've already invested some money in the delayed vote, they say now it's going to cost them more from the $700 million, whatever they said they're going to have to pay, but we don't know what that amount is. The big issue will be what's going to happen next or a couple weeks from the Pinellas County Commission. There are
on December 17th.
Supposedly 4 votes against it, but I think that there's some possibility that that might change. I know the Rays are supposed to talk to Dave Edgars, one of the commissioners who wasn't supportive of the deal earlier, and then Chris Shearer, one of the new people got elected last month, is also supposedly maybe going to be talking to them. So that's obviously we'll all be watching for to see if they can be persuaded, because if they not, then that thing is going to die.
The Rays have been silent pretty much the last few days.
I think that was disrespectful, quite frankly. They weren't at the City Council meeting yesterday. I know that, was that Hankowitz said that? Yeah, I mean, come on, you're asking for, you got $287.5 million approved yesterday, the bonds issued for. The least you can do is show up.
Well, I think on that point, though, Mitch, and Rob Gerdes at the meeting on Thursday night pointed this out. He was the one who told the Rays, you don't need to be here.
Yeah,
and then Gina Driscoll, likewise, had a conversation with them where she said that she thought that them being there would actually be a distraction. So they were told not to be there.
Okay.
Well, I was interested, John Romano had a great column in the Tampa Bay Times where he called this a billion-dollar game of chicken. Mm-hmm. And really there's a sense that that's what's happening here, where who's going to be the first one to sort of cry uncle and back out of this deal, and then what happens to the land rights as a result. Because it seems obvious the city wants to make it happen, the county so far is probably opposed to it, and the Rays just want to hold on to the land rights, and they don't they don't seem to have a whole lot of interest in following through on the deal either. So and at stake is, billions of dollars in public money. And that's the thing that's most disheartening about all of this, is that you don't have leadership willing to sort of stand up and put a line in the sand and sort of say, this is where we need to go. Instead, there's all this sort of passive aggressive kicking cans down the road.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was going to say one thing. That is, I don't know, even the commission approves this, I don't know where it goes, because the Rays say they need, it's going to cost them more money now. And the city and county said, we're not going to spend more money than we've already committed to. And the Rays are complaining, though, that now it's going to cost them more money. So, I mean, if the county commission approves this, I don't know if that means it's all done.
They're talking to some private entities for some additional funding, the Chamber of Commerce, there's naming rights at issue, so there's some ways.
Let me ask you one last question. It's kind of a big picture. You're a media guy. I hear that if the Rays leave, the next most likely city is Nashville, Tennessee, which I think is the 29th media market. We are, the Tampa Bay, Sarasota, Lakeland area is the 15th largest media market. Does it make sense for the Rays to look at a city that's a much smaller media market?
Well, if that city is much more committed committed to giving them whatever they want to come, then yeah, it does make more sense. And one of the things that I always found kind of interesting, I mean, I've been here a long time, and the area's commitment to attending games and supporting the team has always been tough to gauge, you know, particularly when they're not winning. So if they can go somewhere where they feel like they're appreciated regardless of how the team does, it also might make more sense for them to move. And there's a lot of folks like me, and I think maybe Janelle, who are like, you know, see, don't let the door hit you with a good Lord splitting you if you're
not
going to
big
split.
baseball fans. All right.